America, from everywhere you are to here, the studio inside the Beltway, ReliefFactor.com studio. I'm Hugh Hewitt. Tuesday, August the 18th. In the year of the plague 2020, we lost 400 Americans yesterday. That number is low. We are at 170,000 dead. That's about 1/10, actually 1/8 of the number we had been projected in the first Imperial college study, 2.2 million, as I recall. And leveling off is not the right term to use because we don't really have a good handle on the virus. But at 400 dying to it, and we don't have the age demographic on that or the underlying comorbidity. I know they had the scramble yesterday at the University of North Carolina. That's a big, just a complete nightmare mess up by UNC. They really hadn't decided what their risk level was. Before you go back to college, the colleges should tell you, we are going back to college, and if we have up to 200 cases, we're shutting down. I think they had 173, and they shut down at UNC, Chapel Hill. They're shifting back to all remote instruction today, following outbreaks last week. 135 cases in the past week, including 130 among students with multiple separate clusters. Positive test was 13.6. Now, college students are designed to get together, and so that's what college is. I'm not sure they should have sent them home. I think you might have wanted to wait to see how sick they get. Do you know, for example, how many sailors died on the Teddy Roosevelt total? Any of you? That's the aircraft carrier that had it? 1. Now, it swept the ship. 4,500 relatively young, relatively healthy sailors, predominantly male, which is something of a risk factor. Some smokers, not many. And it swept the ship, and they had good doctors and good care, and they were on the alert for it. And one sailor tragically died, and some were in ICU, but only one died. So I don't know that I agree with this decision. I'm not an administrator. I don't know the liability risk. That's what I really can't comment on. And they've got the Australian lockdown has become a nightmare. This is a commentary from the Wall Street Journal this morning that it's destroying the economy, and they're beginning to have the same conversation that rages in every United States state. In Beirut, Lebanon faces a coronavirus surge in cases because of the explosion that killed 178 and sent thousands homeless to homes and sheltering in hotels. All told, the biggest question is when the vaccines are going to arrive. Moderna had good news. South Africa has begun some new trials. But then I just tweeted out a story from The Hill this morning, which is yesterday afternoon, actually, by Arthur C. Evans. You've got to get, even if we get a vaccine, are people going to take it? A poll released by CNN in early May found that 33% of respondents said they would not get a vaccine. Huh? And I know there are a few anti-vaxxers out there, a handful of anti-vaxxers, but what are you people, nuts? 1-800-520-1234. I would just like to know, those of you who are not going to get a vaccine, who are you? What's wrong with you? Of course you're going to get a vaccine. You owe it to everyone you love. Don't think about your worst enemy when you get it. Think about healthcare workers and older people in America, people that you love who have been in the hospital, people who've had chemo, people who are in chemo right now. You'll have to get the vaccine. I mean, they can't enforce it. They can't make you. The Hill story says you've got to remove physical and psychological barriers. You've got to establish incentives and consequences. That's possible. You might want to pay people to get vaccines. You got to prepare healthcare providers. Believe me, healthcare providers who are not open and not making enough money will be ready to give out the vaccine. It also recommends turning to experts and authority figures. No, repetition. I was talking to a radio guy last night. We have to hit this hard 7 times. It's the Luntz rule. You have to repeat something 7 times to actually have it heard by someone. That's why no one's listening to the DNC. The DNC is not going to move a thing. Not going to change a thing. They had Bernie Sanders, Michelle Obama, John Kasich last night. It's not going to change a thing. Tom Perez, chairman of the Democratic National Committee, cut number 25. He summed up the DNC for us yesterday. Cut number 25.
We've already approved the platform. The platform is a bold document. It's both inspirational and aspirational. The input from Senator Sanders and others was invaluable to putting that together. The vice president.
Yeah, that's all we need to hear. It's Bernie's document. Pastor Frederick Hayes III opened the DNC, I think, in sort of a prayer. Cut number 30.
I was a stranger, and you had the nerve to build a wall, while at the same time you have in the harbor there in New York a Statue of Liberty saying, give me your tired, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Jesus will say, America, if you don't get your act together, you may well go to hell. Why? Because inasmuch as you do it to the least of these, my sisters and brothers, you are also doing it unto me. We need to...
The DNC opened by warning people they're going to hell if they vote for Trump. Look, it's not subtle, but that's fine. Ed in Michigan. Ed, are you really not going to get the vaccine?
No, I'm not, and I'm not nuts.
I want to hear your explanation. Why not?
Because I'm a low risk factor. Most people are a low risk factor.
You're nuts. Goodbye, Ed. Look, I don't want to be dismissive. You're not a low risk factor. You're low risk of dying factor, Ed. I'm not going to waste a lot of time on that. That's not a good explanation. Someone might have told me I have a allergic reaction. I might that, but I got a lot to get through here, so I'm not going to have someone tell me about low risk factor. You might have zero factor. You might be 25 years old. You will not die from it. You probably won't even get a headache. I know the National Security Advisor. I talked to him. He had it. I talked to him many times since he recovered, talked to him while he had it, talked to him early in the diagnosis. He never felt that bad. He had very low risk factor, in great shape. You saw him on Meet the Press this weekend, Face the Nation the previous weekend. He's from Central Casting, right? Robert O'Brien's one of the handsome guys in America. In great shape. And so the virus, and he had no comorbidities, the right age. Yeah, I know. I'm 64. I can run 13 miles. Well, run, term of art. I can slog 13 miles. I hope when I get it, I'm not, but I'm still going to get a vaccine. I would prefer not to run the risk. Okay, let's go here, the highlights. Here's Michelle Obama from last night of the DNC.
So if you take one thing from my words tonight, it is this. If you think things cannot possibly get worse, trust me, they can and they will if we don't make a change in this election.
All right, stop right there. So we're going to hell. Things will get worse. Let's go to Bernie, cut number 33.
Let me take this opportunity to say a word to the millions of people who supported my campaign this year and in 2016. My friends, thank you for your trust, your support, and the love you showed Jane, me, and our family. Together, we have moved this country in a bold new direction.
Stop right there. We're going left. We're going to hell. We got to make a change. It's all fear, and it's boring. I only want to hear from two kinds of people this morning, 1-800-520-1234. Why aren't you going to get the vaccine? Are you nuts? Maybe you don't understand the science. Maybe you have a good reason. I'm open to hearing a good reason. You've got to get the vaccine. And then secondly, has anyone at all watched this? It's just the Republicans are taking notes. The Republicans shouldn't have a convention. They should just let Donald Trump talk for 4 nights. They should line up a set of interviewers for Donald Trump and make him sit there and do serial interviews with Donald Trump. Maybe a few with Mike Pence. Maybe 1 or 2 with Bill Barr. But honestly, last night, what a deadly combination of hot air and no audience reaction. It's not a convention. It's a series of infomercials by people who don't know how to give a speech to a teleprompter. Stay right where you are, America. It's the Hugh Hewitt Show.